Tomas Alcantara, Chairman of ABAC Philippines, Tom Harley, Convener of the Services Task Force, uh, Homen Kit, our Chairman at the ABAC REIWG, Assistant Secretary Eric Tamayo, our Deputy APEC SOM Head for the Philippines, and our fearless leader, Jane Drake Brockman. It's been a wide ranging and full discussion over the last 2 days, and I will do my best to try to tie things up together and run a thread, I guess, through all our discussions. I think at the start, as Secretary Ramon Lopez uh, opened, he says this was a good time to run this PPD on services, as this is the midterm review for the APEC Services Competitiveness Roadmap. And as Mankit mentioned, we've got some hits, we've got some misses, so we have mixed results, and it's a good time to look at where we are. And in the middle of this pandemic, what we've seen is that we've been affected, the services sector, but the whole economy really has been affected by a set of negative supply shocks, negative demand shocks. We've had worker shortages, material shortages, longer wait times for some products, rising costs for logistics and products. Uh, and yet we've also seen some gains. We've seen some positive uh, effects. And a lot of these positive effects have been driven by digital uh, transformation. And, you know, we've tried to offset this digital transformation, tries to offset, I guess, the vulnerabilities that our MSMEs have faced. So MSMEs have been the most vulnerable in this whole pandemic situation and the disruption of business. And among the MSMEs, many of them happen to be women-led firms, and this has had obviously a high impact not only on women but overall on employment, where many of our workers are from. But because of digital transformation, this has provided a uh, potential for positive impact and a potential for leapfrogging opportunities. The digitization has affected both personal and professional lives, as mentioned earlier, and those businesses already digitized did well and excelled. And those who transformed themselves digitally were able to survive and have started to pick a path to growth. And I think this is something that we should continue to nurture. This digitalization has also been able to create new value added and, in fact, new businesses to the point, as Louis was saying, where the digital service is almost, equal to or larger in some cases than the professional service itself. But within this context, we all have to operate within a set of rules. And these rules have also been increasingly fragmented, incoherent, and this is a disadvantage to smaller companies rather than to, as opposed to the larger companies. There have been solutions, and we're happy to hear um, Ambassador Jaime Kogi tell us about the WTO's latest decisions. But these rules, as mentioned earlier by Debbie, need to go beyond e-commerce, beyond paper, and consider things like paperless trading, e-signatures, e-authorizations, and a whole host of other rules, including data privacy. At the end of the day, the digital transformation, while it allows people to get back on a growth path, they also run the risk of I guess, a gap, non-inclusion. So this digital divide we also need to consider. So I think as we forge ahead in building up the services roadmap, we need to be thinking, as someone said yesterday, we need to be thinking of building back better. That's to be resilient. But we also need to be thinking at the same time of building back broader for inclusion. On behalf of ABAC Philippines, I'd like to thank all our speakers from around the world who've joined us at all your respective time zones. and to also thank all our participants for staying with us for these past 2 days for what has been a very engaging and fruitful discussion. And my special thanks to Jane Drake Brockman, our fearless leader and convener, and to Patrick Chua, the lead staffer for ABAC Philippines, who also works with Jane in to organize the PPD on services. Uh, we wish you all to stay safe, to keep in good health, and hopefully next time we meet, we will be meeting personally. Thank you very much, and good night from Manila.